Well, I'll just ask, what was the final catalyst then when because you had the conflict, and I've talked about this on the podcast, a lot of people have that conflict. What was the final catalyst for you? Because you had the money equivalent to as we say, the side hustle money was equivalent to the job, and you
Right.
felt this was more in your purpose and passion, and you knew this was, you worked so hard for the security and the grades and the degree. Okay, how did that scale finally tip? And then you said, okay, that's it. I'm out.
It happened. It happened. As I said, I was always looking for ways to escape from the rat race. So at that time, when I'd been working in the Port Authority for close to 7 years. I'd written my book, let's say 3 years earlier. So during the fourth year of working as a civil engineer is when I wrote the book. So now things are running concurrently, but I was still looking for opportunities to escape. So a friend of mine introduced me to a network marketing company called ACN.
I
And
remember
we
that.
were,
Yeah.
right, it's companies like Amway, Mary Kay, Excel, those sorts of companies, multi-level marketing. And the part of the philosophy of multi-level marketing is they always encourage personal growth, personal development, reading books like Think and Grow Rich, The Power of Positive Thinking, because they understand that the success in any endeavor has to do with your mindset and how you think and your thoughts. So I attended a workshop one Sunday. This was on a Sunday. We had something called a leadership training. And at that leadership training, we went through personality types, we went through the power of positive thinking, we went through, all sorts of mental preparation for success. And something clicked at that meeting on a Sunday. And I looked at my best friend who had introduced me to the workshop, a fellow named C. Thomas Gambrell, and we both just nodded to ourselves. We knew something had clicked and we had made that decision. So that was on a Sunday. On the Monday, I took the day off. And I wrote my 2-line resignation letter. And my resignation letter dated August 5th said, please be advised that as of August 5th, I won't give the year.
Okay, no problem.
I shall no longer be employed. I shall no longer be employed as a civil engineer with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. So I wrote that letter on a Monday, walked it in on Tuesday, and handed it in to my boss, and gave them, I think I gave them a week's notice, and then walked away from the job forever.
Okay, so that was, I mean, that's, because imagine the trajectory. Once you did that, I mean, then you were out. You were on your path, so to say. And I think that's really important because a lot of people, it seems today, have come to that trajectory by force. Some people listening to us, because of the pandemic, because of things that have happened, they've had the idea to do these things, and now they've kind of just been forced into it. So hopefully today, because you have such experience with this jump and this leap, and you did it willingly, hopefully we can go over some of your material and some of your formula and philosophy and talk about what that's like after you've been, your hands have been dealt and you made this decision, and how to proceed to grow from there. Because I know a lot of people have, uncertainty and doubt, and we should definitely help them really realize that they can do it. That's the biggest thing I want people to get.
Yep.
You can do it.
Yep,
we just need to get a process.
They need the process, but you mentioned a very important part is that now they have to do it.
It's a must. Have to do it. Yeah.
Now everyone has become a pandemicpreneur, as I say. So you have to do it. And that was the thing that actually worked for me, was that I realized that if I had a back door, if I had an exit strategy, I would never really commit to the passionpreneurial business to the degree that I needed to in order to succeed. So one of the reasons I quit my job as a civil engineer was to put my back up against the wall, to make it an imperative, to make it absolutely essential that I succeed, or else, I would fail. but I made a promise that I would never, ever go back to working for somebody else. I ended up doing it. I moved to Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland for a while, and I ended up doing some temp assignments. But I made a promise that I would never, ever go back and work for someone else, and specifically not as a civil engineer, ever, ever again. So
So
that was
that's
a promise to
important.
my,
That's important for people to burn the bridges, as they say, and make that commitment inside yourself and promise yourself. And there's a word that I always used to read, providence. It's like, I forgot the quote about boldness has magic and genius in it. It's like when you have that commitment and that promise, things begin to fall into place. Maybe not exactly the way you thought or the way you wanted, but people should kind of keep their eyes open for that. What is your idea on how that works in your experience?
one of my philosophies that I live by 100% is the universe is perfect.
Mm.
So no matter what happens, everything that happens, everything that you attract into your reality, to some degree, you have attracted it there. Your soul has attracted it there in order to help you to move to the next level. You may not realize it at the time. It may not appear to be perfection. It may not be appear to be divinely orchestrated. But as you develop this philosophy, you realize that whatever happens to you, the universe is perfect, and it is bringing you closer.
We can pause. We can pause it. Hold on.
No
I'm gonna.
problem. No, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll talk you through it. You can cut it, or actually, if you want to, yeah, if you want to pause it, that's up to you. But it's 6:40 in the morning here, and they're opening up the gate.
Oh, it's just the gate. Okay, that's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Our talking will catch it. That's fine.
So it's over now. So the universe is perfect. Whatever happens to you is happening to bring you closer to your goal. Once you start setting goals, once you start moving on the path of your passion, you will find that things get much easier because you are here for a reason. You are here for a purpose. And things happen to bring you closer to that once you have the courage and the discipline to jump out and pursue that passion. So I have found that things happen. And I also realize that when things happen, they may not always look like what you would hope they look like. I'll give you an example. I quit my job, but I ended up being evicted from my apartment 3 different times over the course of a few years because if you think about it, I had spent all my life, all my education learning how to be an employee and not how to be an entrepreneur. So when I quit my job and jumped out, I realized that the only reason the business was really successful, was really thriving, was because I was funding it with the money from my civil engineering.
Okay.
Yeah. But now that it had to survive on its own, I realized that I was doing things the wrong way. So I wasn't able to make rent. Fell back on my rent. My landlord evicted me. I had to live with friends, live on my friend's couch for a while, and then I got back on my feet and tried it again, and we got the same situation. Got evicted again, so I moved to Maryland. And,
I've been through some of that
right.
too.
So, but I remember.
Yeah.
Yep, it's absolutely, for me, it was part of it. And I realized when I came home that first day, that first time, and saw the eviction notice on my door, I just crushed it up, took it off the door, crushed it up and just threw it. And I had a certain awareness that this is what needed to happen.
Mm.
I didn't, go begging to the landlord to give me some time. I just allowed it to play out because I realized that this is what had to happen in order to get me to the next level. So
Gotcha.